Now on BBC One, we begin a new cartoon series, Good Battles Against Evil, in...
Stand by for action. Anything can happen in the next half hour.
Bounty hunters are on your trail. On your heels, they must not fail. If they do, the police will be on their ass. Post-apocalyptic crime. Fighting is a gas, 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 gas.
So I had to go all out with a silly intro. I'm playing Tanner Simpson's amazing Wanted Reward cc10,000. The rule set and the aesthetics are absolutely awesome. It makes me think of early Judge Dredd and the more urban concepts in the first edition Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. I've got to be honest though, I might have bent a few of the rules straight out of the gate. I'm running a little two-man bounty hunter team, and I am using the behaviour tables for the various characters, but as it's solo play, I did kind of take control of the action in a few places. Not enough to remove the element of chance, or to cheat, but more that I just got engrossed in the narrative. Anyway, I'm spoiling it by rattling. Let's crack on.
Choose your heroes. Choose your heroes. Cue ball and slugger, a right pair of buggers.
So, we catch up with the boys on Zengandia 3. A planet known for taking the waste and rubbish from other planets for money, piling it up and burning it. Meaning that their skies are always filled with ash and black clouds, and it pours filthy rain relentlessly. Their bounty is an unpredictable scumbag mutant known as Panface. He's wanted alive for lewd and lascivious behaviour, trolling, arson and drug cultivation. If they can bring him in, they'll get 79% of 90,000. They do have some intel on him. They know he's hiding somewhere in this town, that he has an ear-piercing scream and iron-tough skin. So, for this first round, I thought it might be cool if the NPCs had a turn on their own. First, we see ex-wrestler turned washed-up bar owner, Clothesline, trying to throw away a bag of garbage into Dusty Bin, the little dustbin robot. Dusty always tries to run away, and they do this dance every single morning. Next, let's move Mouse, a harmless little service droid. These two guys are from a species that can't be pronounced with a human tongue, but the derogatory name is Candles. It looks like they've decided to try and get a drink from the little vending machine robot. I've made a little table for how the vending machine works. Oh, and it looks like they've dropped their coin and it's gone down the drain. Oh, bad luck, lads. Right, now Cue Ball and Slugger enter the table. Slugger is complaining about how much this planet literally stinks. Cue Ball tells him to put a sock in it and concentrate. Cue Ball has a bit of a plan, so he tells them to split up. And Slugger predictably picks the bar over the rundown looking store on the opposite side. All the NPCs move randomly by the direction that the number 1 faces on the D6. Incidentally, if the number 1's facing up or facing down, they don't move at all. Poco, the little Daruma robot, trundles across the board doing his thing. And Mouse suddenly changes direction and goes the way he came. The Candles, annoyed at having lost their coin, decide they're going to head across the street and try and get a beer. Teabag, one of the local thieves, has a Game Boy for sale, so he approaches Cue Ball to see whether he wants to buy it. Cue Ball asks him what games come with it, and he says that he's only got Tetris. So Cue Ball tells him to stick it in his prison pocket and walk straight past him. Slugger then heads towards the pub. Oh, nearly forgot to roll for a direction. Hang on. Oh, and Dusty Bin stays put. And that means Clothesline can catch him up and get rid of his bag of rubbish. Oh, I meant to put this little guy on a base, but I never got round to it. Turns out that the most dangerous weapon in the universe is a stick. Come on, stand up, little pal. There you go. The candles have gone into the bar for a livener. And Mouse has spotted Slugger, so he decides he's going to go over and have a little chat. I've been looking forward to using the NPC Conversations Topics table. So let's give it a roll. We've got a 9 and a 2. So that's piracy. Mouse asks Slugger if he knows any pirates. That's not really going to go down very well, considering Slugger used to be a smuggler. Slug smuggle? Smug smuggle? And on the other side of the street, Teabag isn't satisfied with not being able to sell the Game Boy, so he follows Cue Ball. Cue Ball shows him the knife inside his jacket, and as it's not the sort that you have to wipe the butter off, Teabag might be well advised to go in the opposite direction. So Paco has decided to go and have a look at the poster that's advertising hot dogs. I'm not quite sure why, because he can't eat them. Cue Ball has thought better of opening up Teabag like a pack of crisps, and he's decided to go and have a look inside the building. It looks like whatever business was here is long closed down. It just seems to be a homeless man and his little squiggy friend. The squig just stays still and stares at Cue Ball. And then the old man makes a run for the back room. I've suddenly decided he's an old man, not a homeless man. How do I know his age? I'm 37. I'm not old. Back out on the street, Slugger decides he's going to put his pick straight through Mouse. So he draws his weapon. And he's successful. Let's see whether Mouse can dodge him. Hey, yeah, he did. Good on you, Mouse. However, doing that has caused 1 point of hysteria. Slugger's already not following the plan very well. Clothesline decides to head back to the bar. Oh, should have put a base on this guy. Stand up, my man. Dusty Bin heads off down the street. And falls over. Oh, he's going to have to stay like that for a minute. I can't handle it. And it looks like Paco's still mesmerised by the poster. Teabag heads over towards Clothesline. He doesn't bother to try and sell him the Game Boy because he knows he won't buy it. So that means we can have a look on the conversation table. So I've got a 5 and a 2. Upcoming hobby convention. Yeah, so Teabag asks Clothesline if he's going to the upcoming hobby convention where they all play a war game about a made-up planet called Earth. Mouse decides to stay still, which probably isn't a good idea. And now Slugger takes another swing at him with the pick. And he's successful. Can Mouse dodge it? Oh, dude. No. Oh, the humanity, little mouse. Slugger, for Christ's sake. So oil spreads across the ground. We're now up to 2 hysteria points. Let's see how these guys react to what they've just seen.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
So, while editing this video, I decided to have a closer look at the rules. I might have been riding roughshod over a few little details, but this is where I really got it mixed up. First I screwed up how the hysteria mechanics work. Then I thought it'd be funnier if they both just sparked up a cigarette. Like there were some seriously hard-hearted dudes in this town. My apologies to Tanner and co. I promise to stick more closely to the rules in future. So anyway, stick with me. There's some crazy cool stuff that happens from here on out.
Wait, I still function.
Turns out they're not bothered. Back inside the empty store, the homeless guy is still making a run for the back room. And the squig is going to stay still. Dusty Bin is still heading down the street in the same direction. Oh, and you'll notice that I haven't moved the vending machine robot, but he's actually programmed to stand there in that exact spot for 8 hours a day. Selling pop. Now Cue Ball's going to make his way out of the building. No, he's not. No, hang on. I think he needs to speak to this old man. But when he walks in, the old man's taking a whiz against the wall. Slugger continues to make his way to the bar. Obviously, having a slug body, it means that he's not very stealthy. In fact, if you want to know where he's been, you just follow the trail. Clothesline decides he'd be much safer back in the bar. Dusty Bin has a little rest after a long walk down the street. Cue Ball can see that Panface isn't in the room, and a urinating tramp is more than he's got time for, so he decides to leave. Poco finally takes his eyes off the poster and sees the massive puddle of oil, and decides he better peg it. Right, you're nearly at the door now, Slugger. Dusty Bin exits stage left. Cue Ball then calls over to Slugger and reminds him of the plan. Then he says if Panface is in there, remember to cuff him and not fire that stupid plasma cannon. Slugger mutters something under his breath, and then Cue Ball heads towards the vending machine robot. Poco, in a panic, runs into the empty store. Teabag, seemingly unfazed by a maniac with a pick, suddenly decides he's going to follow Cue Ball. Dangerous lad. Slugger finally makes it through the door. Inside the bar, the candles have just been served a beer, but Slugger, still brandishing the pick, is now shouting about a headless mutant with a metal plate for a face. Ah, here he is. Let's roll on the behaviour table to see what he does. And we've got a 3, so he's going to carry on hiding behind the beer barrels. Let's do the same for the first candle. Yeah, he's going to flee. And the second one is going to hide. So I guess the only place to hide is behind the bar. Let's tuck him in. Mind you, I think Slugger's probably seen him, to be fair. Clothesline needs to flee. He can't really come this... Oh, there's a back door. Yeah, he pegs it out the back door. Cue Ball walks up to the vending machine robot. This is a fine time to get a refreshing drink. Look at him, hiding in the shadows. Okay, this Candle's Johnny Concrete. He's changed his mind and it looks like he's going to have a go at attacking Slugger. So he attempts to jump on his back, which he's successful. Can Slugger dodge? He's not much of a dodger, he's a big lad. Oh, okay, he has. Shrugs him off. And the Candle's knocked back. Teabag the nut job decides he's going to go over to Cue Ball, even though it's kicking off across the street. It's clear that he's got the junkie shuffle on. I think he needs his next fix. It's either sell the Game Boy or shake like an old washing machine. Lucky for him, Cue Ball ignores him. There's a plan to execute and he hasn't got time to murder an idiot. The other Candle's lost his rag and he's going to have a go at Slugger too. It's getting a bit tasty now, isn't it? The Candle lunges at him and he's successful. Slugger can't dodge, so the Candle buries its teeth into his neck. And down he goes, spraying blood. Hysteria is now at 3. Cue Ball wheels around, seeing what's happened, and shouts to Slugger to tell him to get up and stop messing around. Slugger's got health points to spare, but he's going to feel pretty woozy after that. Panface suddenly plucks up the courage to attack and storms out of the back room. Teabag senses that's his cue to leave. And the other Candle does likewise. The attacking Candle makes a run for it. And Slugger gets to his feet only to be face to face with Panface. Cue Ball calls Slugger from across the street to remind him of the plan and says cuff him, don't shoot him. Then he turns back to the vending machine. Panface is now frightened, but he doesn't scream because he's going to hide behind the bar. Teabag continues to leg it. Cue Ball takes a few coins out of his pocket and slips them into the machine, hoping that the company's jingle will be just loud enough to cover Panface's screams.
Drink your fucking drink, bitch! You love a can of pop! Fizzing down your throat, mate! You can never stop!
Teabag runs straight off the board. Both of the Candles are doing the same thing. Slugger draws his plasma cannon and puts it to Panface's stomach. He's successful at point blank range. Down goes Panface, but his iron tough skin just means he's unconscious. Hysteria's now at level 4. Teabag's on his bike. One of the Candles has rallied and decided he's going to attack. The other one is gone, just leaving a dust cloud. Blood begins to pool around Panface. A Slugger slaps on the cuffs. Oh, Jeez, let's have a minute. that was a bit intense, wasn't it? So, I had it planned that if they got far enough to put the cuffs on the pair, it'd trigger a special event. There's a well-known bounty hunter in the community that waits until a bounty is nearly taken in and then tries to poach it.
Captain Dickbeard, he's a hero, gonna take the crime rate down to 0. Women love him and then feel fear. He can blow your head off and not shed a tear. Captain Dickbeard, what a dick. Captain Dickbeard, a massive dick. Captain Dickbeard, what a dick. Captain Dickbeard, an eye-watering dick.
Sorry, the silliest things amuse me. So Dickbeard enters the board and heads towards the bar. A cue ball spots him and he's in range. Cue ball draws his knife and attacks. And he's successful. You can't dodge it. Cue ball slashes a stripe right down his face. Dickbeard starts leaking onto the ground. Injured but not dead, Dickbeard gets to his feet. Hysteria is now at 5. Will he still try and steal the bounty? No, he's a coward. The perfect anticlimax is for him to just run off the board. Slugger begins to slowly drag Panface from behind the bar. And Cue Ball runs over to try and help out. The Candle bottles it and decides to hide round the side of the building. And Cue Ball grabs hold of Panface to double their efforts. They're going as fast as they can before the cops turn up. Oh, and Slugger's fallen over, which you never know, he might do. I'm going to roll to see whether he slips in the blood. That was creepy foreshadowing. Then the reluctant vigilante's back on it again. So he comes back out from the side of the building. Cue Ball presses on. And Slugger manages to get to his feet. He's now covered in his own blood and Panface's. Hard Lad is determined to kick it off. This mutant weighs a ton and the lads are using the last of their strength just to drag him along. Oh, for God's sake. And then the Candle changes his mind for the last time and heads out of town. Which is a smart decision considering Cue Ball's wondering whether or not to beat the brakes off him. And they finally manage to exit the table. Mission accomplished. They manage to drag him a few more meters before they plonk him down, and as he's still unconscious, Cue Ball decides to sit on him. He opens a beer, takes a sip, and passes it to Slugger. Then says, "Told you not to shoot that cannon." Slugger takes a big swig from the can, belches, and then says, "It worked though, didn't it?" Cue Ball lights a cigarette and calls for the transport. Little do either of them realise that this would turn out to be the good times. Their next bounty will turn out to be much more dangerous, and they will also be dealing with something they could never have expected. So there you have it, all done. I really enjoyed it. I know I didn't stick to the rules very well, but then I thought, well, you know, give yourself a break. It is only a game, and I'm playing it on my own. You know, that's a lovely part about doing any of this. It's the escape, isn't it? I mean, definitely next time I'm going to be much closer to the rules, and the rules are brilliant. It's not as if I homebrewed up something that ended up being better. Just forgot, really. But in solo play, I think the narrative rules, or in my opinion it does. And I've got some pretty wacky ideas for next time. Thanks so much for watching.